I think that's the beauty of that banquet hall.
The wedding facilities people needed in Pune city.
Did you use any AI technique for designing this chandelier?
We fabricated whole structure onto the ground, so it kind of resembles architecture and interior design. It's more of, we think it's a work of art.
Failures, they are not fatal. They teach you so many things and all that. Name of your enterprise?
Work of walls.
Work of wall. Hi friends, welcome to Business Success Stories brought to you by Inaiways. Inaiways, in a AI company which helps you to to enhance your top line, as well as it works on your different systems in an AI way. Today, I'm having a guest here with me for you, and I have Ajinkya Salunke with me today. Welcome to this show, Ajinkya.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for having me at the show in Ways. Thank you, Ajit sir, for inviting me, and I'm very excited.
Ajit Jagtap is the founder promoter of In AI Ways. That's why he mentioned Ajit's name here, and he has developed the entire systems in a very magnificent way. Ajinkya, on LinkedIn, I just read that you very recently developed a 800 capacity banquet hall. Could you tell us about that facility? Because I was fascinated to read, and I would like the viewers of this show to know about that banquet hall.
Okay, so basically, this project came to me through my childhood friend who was into event management, and he, with some of his friends, they they leased out this, I would say, a Mangal Karyalay.
Okay.
So they wanted to convert this into a banquet hall, looking
Yeah.
at the premises and the wedding facilities people needed in Pune city. So they wanted to convert this whole Mangal Karyalay into a banquet hall, which was of 18,000 square feet, which included all the rooms and green rooms, toilets, and everything. And the challenge there was the height of that project. The roof height was very less, was just 12 feet. So we were onboarded by my childhood friend, and we wanted to convert this Mangal Karyalay into a banquet hall, looking at the need of the premises for this wedding thing. So it's kind of a success story, because in the very initial stage of our career, we got this project, and to convert this had like many different tasks. For example, ventilation. Should we go for AC, or should we go for uh, evaporative cooling systems? Like, they also had a very tight budget, so we had to give him insights, or give him solutions that could fit into his budget, and also in the timeline, because the wedding season was on the approach.
It is indeed an success story, and I think the confidence reposed in you by your friend. Really, you lived up to it, and one can see that banquet hall. And especially, I saw that chandelier which is there, and I think it's a wonderful piece of. I would say the architectural
Yeah.
work and the way, if you see that chandelier, I think that's the beauty of that that banquet hall. Could you tell us about that?
Yeah, so the idea behind the chandelier was, see, we had a very tight budget. So, but still, we wanted to make a grandeur for the bride and the groom, and even the people who are coming there for the wedding. So, we went to the markets, did the market research. A 3 feet by 3 feet of chandelier would cost them 3 to 4 lakh rupees. So, we thought of, why not make a custom made chandelier by ourselves? So what we did was, like, we made a custom made chandelier which was 10 feet by 100 feet
Oh,
in
you
length.
did it yourself?
Yeah, we did it ourselves, and it was customized on site. So we, from the designing to execution, everything was done on site.
We'll come back to that point again, but I just would like to, out of curiosity, did you use any AI technique for designing this chandelier?
Uh, Not in that. We have other projects where we have used it.
We'll come to that later.
Yeah.
I think you continue.
Yeah, so that chandelier, we decided, we threw this idea to our friend, and even he got excited. He said, okay, we do have laborers who can, do this work on a daily basis. So we designed it. So how to execute it? So we printed 100 feet banner. We fabricated a whole structure onto the ground, and then we put that onto the ceiling, and then we just added glass crystals onto it,
Oh,
and
okay.
that's how the whole chandelier made, and that's the main USP of the whole design.
Yeah, you mentioned about your childhood friends. So let's go to your childhood.
Yeah.
And we would like to know about your childhood and how, you shape from your childhood into what you are today. Can you tell us something about your
Yeah.
background and, your education?
So I was born and brought up in Satara.
Oh,
So till 12th standard, I was in Satara. A very mischievous, naughty, over energetic kid, and none
that
of
energy is reflected in your,
yeah,
the construction and
maybe. So yeah, so after that I came to Pune for my BArch, and I did my graduation
that
from
is Bachelor of
Bachelor of
Architecture.
Architecture. I did from Siagad College of Architecture, which is in Vadgaon, Pune. Later, for 1 year, I worked in Pune with a very good, renowned firm. And after that, I did my master's from CEPT University, which is in Ahmedabad.
Hmm.
I did my master's in architecture there. Within that period, I worked in Ladakh. I after that I
Ladakh.
Yes, I had
Okay.
a in between my post graduation, I had some 2 to 3 months period. So I just went to Ladakh. I worked there.
Did you pick up some architectural things from there, or it was just a adventure trip or something like that?
No, no, I worked there. It's a very different context. Picking up from there would not apply here in this our surroundings. So I had to learn what is being applied there. So for example, they have glass facade on the south side,
Yeah.
which we cannot do here.
Right.
So they want to heat up the whole house during
Yes.
the winter. So the whole design of the structures is very different in Ladakh. So I had to pick up new things instead of applying that here.
Was there any architect in your family, or you were the first architect from your
No, I'm
family?
the first one.
You are the first
Yeah.
architect. Okay, I think when we were discussing about your banquet hall and all that, probably our viewers might have picked up that you are an architect, and you also mentioned that you did your masters and bachelors and architect and all that. So I would like to know, how did you come to? Did you work anywhere after completion of your
Yes.
graduation and post graduation?
After post graduation, I worked in Mumbai for a
Mumbai.
year and a half until COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a very good project where I was a project architect for like a high rise building, a mixed
Mm-hmm.
use high rise building. So yeah, until COVID, I was working, and after COVID, I decided to start on my own.
It must have been difficult. You mentioned that it was a good project and all that. So to come out of a good project and a good job, a good paying, job and all that, and to start something on your own is a very, very, I would say, difficult decision,
Yeah.
which definitely requires a lot of guts. So how did you arrive at that decision? How did you decided that forget everything now? I want to be on my own.
So honestly, I was working 12 to 14 hours, sometimes 16
Oh.
hours during COVID, because boss would just call anytime because
Uh-huh.
I was home. And I really got frustrated with the timings.
Mm-hmm.
And anyways, I had a plan where I wanted to work for 2 to 3 years, gain experience.
So that was initially what you had
Yeah,
decided.
but COVID was very surprising for everyone, and that kind of changed my mind. Like, if I'm putting so much of time, like, this is actually a good time where I can start on my own, which I always wanted to. So that time I was in Satara working from home, but I decided let's move to Pune because of the opportunities, that there'll be better opportunities here. So with
Mm-hmm.
no background, no network here in Pune, I shifted here
Mm-hmm.
and like started with so my wife right now and a
She's
friend.
also an architect.
She's also an architect. She's also my partner.
Oh.
Also, there is one more friend. He's also my partner. So Disha Salunke and Pratik Goe. These two are my partners. And so Disha was freelancing here in Pune,
Mm-hmm.
and I was jobless. I came to Pune, and my friend Pratik, he was at a job here in Pune. Who was working here already. So it was a very organic collaboration that happened. We never decided ki we're going to start
Disha was
this.
also interested in some doing something on her own, or she wanted to be in some job and Huh.
She was already freelancing, so she was
Okay.
taking up small projects, interior projects, some bungalow projects. She was
Mm-hmm.
taking it on her own.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, that's how it started.
Okay. And the name of your enterprise is Work on Wall, right?
Work off walls.
Work off wall.
Yes.
So how did you come to this name? Work off wall means, a layman like me would say ki work off wall means that you must be constructing some walls
Yes.
and something like that.
Yeah, this does
What is the
happen with
concept
us.
and what is the idea behind that?
So you would see there is kind of a trend in architectural companies to have, quirky names.
Mm-hmm.
So when we started working for like initial months, we were deciding on to what we should name ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So this name is actually seventh or eighth name that we came out. Initial
Okay.
names I cannot even speak because I'm embarrassed to
Okay.
even say
Okay.
that.
And you have
So
forgotten them now.
yeah, forgotten them. So we actually went for trademark and to trademark another name, which we didn't get it. So we were
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, we need to do like come up with something in a day or like this. So we
Mm-hmm.
brainstormed and it came like work of walls. So it kind of resembles architecture and interior design. It's more
Mm-hmm.
of, we think it's a work of art.
Okay.
So when we do architecture and interior designer, walls are the main component of the whole space. So in that way, we thought of naming it work of walls. So
Mm-hmm.
that really resonates with us, and we really like the name.
Yeah, but you do a lot of work inside the walls also. So it's
Yeah.
not only work off walls, but inside also. That the interior of this thing
Yes.
also. So who specializes in this? Are you an expert in that, or Disha is expert, or your other partner? Who?
Pratik.
How is the
Yeah.
division of the work, and how the three brains work on the different projects and assignments? What you get?
So it's uh, the work is very seamless. So very initial days we had these tough conversations like how we going to take this thing forward, because we really complement each other's skills. Like
Mhm.
someone is very good at detailing, someone good at conceptualizing, someone
Right.
is very good at making BOQs or
Somebody
execution,
is good in marketing.
marketing.
Mhm.
So first year actually went into figuring out who's good with what. Initially, if I could say, if a project came to us, we three would sit, brainstorm it together, pitch it. Whatever gets selected, that person will take the lead. In even right now, it happens the same thing. Um, Whenever we get a project, we sit together, brainstorm, and come with ideas.
Mhm.
What can be the different idea? What can be the project that can push the limits in this project? And likewise, we decide, we start designing it, and then someone who is kind of a free in that period takes over that project, and
Mhm.
that person is like the main key person who is looking after that project.
Okay. Okay. So work of wall was started immediately after COVID, or when did it?
So in 2001,
Uh-huh.
by the end of 2001, I can say. So initially, me and Disha, we were working together, and then we had a project where we just thought, let's include, like, collaborate or include Pratik with the project.
Pratik
So
was your friend or he
he's our classmate
classmate?
from
Okay,
Siagad College.
okay, okay.
So even he was in Pune, and we used to, have a lot of discussions regarding the business of architecture, how the things are going
Hmm.
in market, what projects are there.
So
So
generally jamta hai,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
jamta
So
hai.
we were very
You
good
go
friends.
well with him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we thought, let's collaborate on one project. We never thought कि हम like तीनों मिलके company बनाएंगे. Like just one project, we'll work together. Let's see. And then he came with a project. He's like, I also have one project. Let's work together. So one project, second project, third project, until fourth, fifth project, we were like, I think we are very seamlessly working together.
Hmm.
Let's make this officially a company and start working together.
When anybody starts a new business and all that, there is a lot of starting trouble.
Yeah.
A lot of discussions and a lot of thinking goes inside also, and whether to start, whether to do this, whether to do that, and it needs definite kind of an determination, and you have to take the decision.
Yes.
So how hard was it to take this decision, and did you think of any risk or any challenges when you started this?
uh, I would say there were tough times, but I never felt difficult.
Hmm.
Difficult, I would say. I was never scared of it, because I knew at the end I have to start my own company.
Yeah.
So I'm very lucky to have partners who were also in the
Of the
same
similar,
mindset.
yeah, okay,
Like,
mindset.
anyways, they wanted to start. What I could say is, like, initially we had extremely, there were financial crunch, definitely,
Mm-hmm.
because we didn't have any networks here.
Yeah.
So we were just pitching to clients, getting any relatives or friends. We were making designs for 6 months. I would say we were not paid at all. So, like, with whatever pitches that we made within this 4 5 months, I think everything, or they recommended us, or that projects got converted for next year and a half.
Okay. So you were prepared for, everything, and you decided, come what may, I will continue with this business and all that. So could you just narrate some incidences or some experiences which, you came across in the initial stages of work of walls?
Um, Incidences regarding to the project.
The project and the the struggle which you had to keep getting projects, and negotiating with different companies, and then marketing the project, and there definitely must be some competition, and you have to come good of that competition. So anything of that sort, or even during the project, sometimes what happens, you reach a certain stage, and then you get stuck somewhere, that what next, you don't sometimes
Yeah.
understand. So that's also a bigger challenge, and I would a very difficult situation.
Yeah, so initially we didn't have projects, like I said. We were working from my space, like where I was staying at a rented
Mm-hmm.
place. These two guys used to come to my
Hmm.
house. We would work together. And slowly, when we got project, so one big risk that we took was to, like, rent a space, like an office space, which was like the first risk that we took.
Hmm.
And we just knew that we had two projects in a hand, and we'll have couple of lakh rupees in account within a year, so that our rent is will be
Okay.
sufficed. So
Okay.
we thought, let's just get the office space, we'll see whatever happens next. And once we took the office space, I think everything started to be in place. Like, everything started systemizing, then we started hiring people, then one project, two projects, 10 projects. So it started rolling on next.
See, when you are working on your own, and if you are the only one, you are the boss. So, in that kind of a situation, it is very easy to work. But when you have more than one boss, or the rather
Yeah.
bosses, now you are three of them, and everybody feels that I'm a boss. So, were there any situations where you three of you came together? Of course, forget about Disha and all that, because she's your wife, but the other
Mhm.
partner and all that. Was there any situation where there was some strain kind of a thing, relations or something, and you really had to resolve that, or you had to adjust, or you had to discuss with him and sort out the problems? I'm referring to the conflict management in the
Yeah.
initial stages of your business, among
So
the
yeah.
the partners.
So one thing I can say is we three are very passionate, and we like it has never happened in all these years that we had to tell other person to work, because
Mm-hmm.
that can be one of the problems. And initially we discussed all the tough decisions that need to be taken before we started, shareholding, equity, how the work is
Yours
going
is the
to.
private limited company or
It's an
LLP?
LLP.
Acha, limited
Yeah.
liability partnership. Okay.
So how are we distributing the finances? So we had this tough discussions very early on to the business.
Okay.
So the major conflict part is there.
Mm-hmm.
Rest other thing might come into architects is about the ego related to the design, or something related to, I have come up with this idea, we should go forward with this, we should go forward with that. So how we tackled it, like very openly, we used to question, and whoever can justify why this is better, we would blindly move
You
ahead,
accepted that.
accept it.
Okay.
So even that we still follow it, even from our employees. Even if some good idea has been put onto the table, we don't like to scrap out if someone can justify it.
That's a good thing. I
Yeah.
think you are into a participative
Yes.
kind of a management, which is very essential in
Yes.
the success of this thing. Was there any failure? Because in a startup, we always say that a startup should face a lot of failures in its initial stages, because failures, they are not fatal, they teach you
Hmm.
so many things and all that. So a successful startup, we say, has to see many failures. So did you see any failures which taught you some lessons, or which you picked up some business strategies from those
Hmm.
failures, which have helped you now to progress?
Failures, I would say, in terms of business management, like we couldn't retain our best employees. Initially, we don't know how to have conversations with them, how to hire, we don't know, because it was a bootstrap. So
Bootstrap.
yeah, bootstrap. So didn't know how to do all of it, right from hiring and giving, even delegating the work was very difficult in the initial
Okay.
stage. So yeah, that was one of the problems that we faced. Then again, financial distribution,
Right.
where we should put money, should we market, or should we
Yeah.
keep it aside or use it for our turnkey projects?
Mhm.
So yeah, these kind of problems were initially we faced a lot.
So far, on how many walls have you worked? How many projects have you handled?
Like in square feet, I would say more than 4 to 5 lakh we have
Oh, that's
already.
quite a
Yeah,
large number.
we have already executed, and we are
Hmm.
currently working more than similar amount, like 6 7 lakh square feet of
Okay.
projects.
Okay. And which are the areas where you have done your work?
So we have worked in and around Pune,
Mm-hmm.
in Ratnagiri, in Satara, Kolhapur. So this is like area where we are working.
Mm-hmm. And how big is your organization now? And when you
So
started, what was the strength, and how it has grown over a
So
period of time?
initially we were just three of us,
Uh-huh.
and now we are a team of 10 people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, but in the current AI, kind of an environment and all that, your lot of architectural things and lot of planning, designing must
Mhm.
be going in a AI way and all that.
Yeah.
So, are you using AI very effectively, or what kind of technologies, what we talk about today, are being used by you? Not only the computer assisted kind of a
Mm.
thing, but I think there are various architectural implements or equipments also which are there. So could you tell us something about that?
Yeah, so for few projects, not every project, but for
Mhm.
few projects, we do use AI. Like Mid-Journey, we use Mid-Journey to come up with designs or options of what client has told us, and it is very effective, I would say, in terms of producing the work at a faster pace. Um, of course, like we have to build it on site, so it cannot be just an image. So a later part of working onto it, developing that image also is a different thing.
Mhm.
But to have quick meetings, we think Midjourney is a very good option in AI, where we produce faster images or conceptualize
Okay.
the ideas.
Okay. These days, we see very beautiful walkthroughs, and the entire presentation is very colorful and with a lot of innovations. And you can really make some good presentation to the your clients and customers and all that. So, what's your experience with your clients and customers when you use these kind of techniques like the AI, and with the help of AI? Maybe immediate interaction and finding solutions, and that kind of a approach. Will it is it really appreciated by the customers, and how do the customers look at you from the overall presentations and the designs which you are making and all that?
So actually, these softwares help a lot. For instance, a customer may not be an artist or into our field who can have a very good perspective of how
Mhm.
things are going to look in the end.
Yeah.
So these softwares, these walkthrough 3D renders, these help a lot to make customer understand how the end product is going to look. And 95% we do achieve that on site, unless and until there are tweaks in the end. So this is very easier method and very helpful method, I would say, for architects and interior designers who for the presentations they use.
Mhm. See, a customer or your client is always demanding,
Yeah.
and is discerning too, and they come up with a different ideas, which at many a times are not practicable, and then you have to convince them, you have to tell them that this is not possible and all that. So we would definitely like to know from you, or hear from you certain experiences from customers. On one end, they are very happy, and they are very happy with the design or the work you have performed. There could be some experiences where the customer initially got skeptical, or he was not that confident whether you will deliver the good results and all that. Or there could be some customers who come to, they couldn't become your customer, but you took them up to a certain stage, and then
Hmm.
because of certain reasons they dropped out and all that. So you must be having ample such experiences. So could you
Yeah.
share some of these experiences which would be very useful for anybody who is in a business, as to how customer needs to be handled?
So, with the work of walls, what we really focus on to is like our practice is very customer centric.
Right.
As architect and designers, we might tend to put or impose our ideas onto customer, which we don't do.
Hmm.
So our job at Work of Worlds is to make sure that the customer is the king.
Hmm.
Their ideas, their aspirations need to be uplifted. So how can we put their ideas or their aspirations, like how
But
can.
all the time the ideas may not be right. Now,
Yeah, so I
somebody,
think there
you have
are,
to many a
I
time tell
think
him that this is not possible.
we don't say this is not possible, probably
Mhm.
we take a better option to them.
Okay, that's a good thing.
Yeah. So the banquet project we talked about, so initially, like with that project, so banquet hall needs a lot of lighting,
Yeah, true.
and our idea was to keep like huge arches with the natural light coming inside the banquet hall. So
Hmm.
initially the customer was like, Ki our, like we need to sell the lights also. People who will come here, they would rent the lights So their business is also at stake. So but we were very adamant, or adamant I can say, like we wanted to have natural light because there would be day programs as well. So when we did, like we were like, okay, let's try it out, if not we'll close it off.
Mm-hmm.
So for that project, when we made those arches and put a polycarbonate sheet behind it, and the amount of light, the wash, the natural wash that was coming inside the banquet hall was very appreciated by the client at the end. And they also said, we never wanted to have this, but after it is done, we really think it is the best product, like the best
Mm-hmm.
thing of the whole design.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see you have handled a lot many projects from different, of different types and categories. You had done some offices and all that. You had done some commercial complexes. You had done some residential projects also and all that. So, what is basically a difference between the type of projects and the customer coming for these kind of a project? So, uh, are there any experiences from, say, for example, office, my own office, and I come out with some ideas and then I give it to you, and then you developed it. So, is there any experience from that? How though the thing was shaped, and how did you ultimately give that the client the best of the office which he can have?
Yeah. So I would say about a sample flat that we designed. We are at Pancard Road in Pune itself. So it's a 4 BHK sample flat. So the
Hmm.
builder was like, I don't want to have a luxury, glossy sort of sample flats that you see everywhere in Pune.
Okay.
So how would you, like, I want a homely interiors, but at the same time it should look luxury. So luxury can be very
Yeah.
different for different people. So how do you achieve that? So that was a big task for us, which we did for the builder.
Hmm.
And we thought of how we can get, the recall value, because a customer is in a day he's seeing two sample flats, three sample flats. So how would he remember our project or the sample flat, how the interiors have been done? So there we decided, like, there should be some kind of recall value
Hmm.
that we could add up into the interiors. For example, we put a red ceiling, uh,
Hmm.
a band of red ceiling in the interiors of a living room. Then we had like inbuilt, we used birch ply for the kids room, like inbuilt beds that we made. So whenever the customer, and we had these feedback from them, is like whenever they go back, they
Hmm.
always remember this one sample flat that they have seen. So this was one of the project where we had to tackle it in a different way, where the customer should have that recall value and
Hmm.
come to a point where they should think of the same project again and again.
And not only project, it's
Yeah,
looking at the sample flat, they
they
should
should
come to
book also.
you.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, yeah. But any other customer or a client with whom you started and then you got into some kind of problems, he came out with some idea, you said no, and then the relationship was strained or something like that, and then eventually you won over him and then you presented him a very good project.
So there has been projects where we
Hmm.
have let go of,
Hmm.
because some of our clients are into building industry.
Hmm.
So where we tell ideas, so we do all the design has happened, everything has happened. So the customer will always come up with, can we change this? Can we change that? So
Okay.
there have been instances there where we cannot argue with them and just agree to them saying, I would like this sort of window itself, which might not go with the 3D or like with the proportions and scale of the whole project. But at the end, it's their house.
Yeah.
So sometimes just having an argument is not the answer. We
Nah,
would just let
yeah.
it go and say, okay, however you want to, but this is your decision. We're not being a part of this.
Okay, since 5 year hence, after 5 years or 10 years, where do you see yourself and work of walls, and how, what kind of a progress you want to achieve, and how would you go about it, achieving that, whatever you have planned and all that.
So definitely we see a work of walls. Initially, we never wanted it to be a studio. We wanted to be a company where it can provide services from designing to execution.
Hmm.
And we do see a lot of potential in Pune for the growth, uh, where we are tackling interior projects, architectural projects, redevelopment projects. So we're already having these sort of projects in our pipeline. So
Hmm.
we do see a big company catering to major architectural projects and interior projects. At the
Hmm.
same time, redevelopment projects that are happening in Pune.
Okay, but you will go beyond Pune also. You
Yes,
mentioned about
yes,
Kolhapur,
yes,
Satara, and all that.
yes. We already
Any other
working actually.
market which has been, scanned by you, and you feel that there would be a lot of potential for you?
So one venture that we are working on, and probably that will be open for people in like 2 months, and that is about 3D printing.
Okay.
So what we realized with 3D printing is like it's a very hassle free experience for the customer.
Hmm.
And also at remote places there are many issues of material management, labor. So we this is going to be India's first portal sort of ecosystem where clients, architects, designer, product designers, private institutions, government institution can come collaborate with us
Hmm.
and work with us to achieve this 3D printing for their own.
Something a
Yes,
unique kind of activity, if
yes.
you will say. No, I have seen 3D printing, and especially in industry, they even these days they prepare some components totally based on design by
Hmm.
using 3D printing and all that. So, could you just elaborate for the viewers who are not exposed to 3D printing kind of a thing and all that? What exactly is 3D printing? And what it is doing in your architectural work, what work is being
Okay. So basically, 3D printing is where we have like a robotic print machine or a printer, which is so like there are small 3D printers which make small
it creates
products.
a three-dimensional kind
Yes,
of an image.
yes. So like how you print a small products, we print the whole house
Oh.
with that robotic system.
Uh-huh.
So in that, for example, 500 square feet, 1,000 square feet of houses can be printed in just 7 to 8 days.
Oh, okay.
So that is the speed that can be achieved in
Mm-hmm.
that very
When you
short
say
amount of
printed,
time.
meaning
So basically it is, so I would say, so we create drawings, and those drawings have been uploaded into the
on printer,
onto the printer. So
the 3D
basic
printer.
3D printer. So the printer prints accordingly how we have drawn all the
All,
walls.
yes.
So basically it is printing all the walls.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yes.
And I think you did mention when we were talking earlier that, the same kind of a job which earlier used to require maybe 20, 15, 20
Yeah.
people, now can be done by
Yes.
half the number of people and all
Yeah.
that.
So, like I said, a 500 square feet of a house or a cottage can be done with just 2 or 3 people.
Oh, that's, I
Yes.
think.
So it's a hassle-free experience.
Hmm.
Cut down your labor, cut down the material management, and also the transporting cost.
Okay. How do you see the future of AI in your kind of a business, and or your segment of work, what you are doing?
It is it's very evident as of now as well.
Hmm.
People using AI for rendering,
Hmm.
for making like projects,
Right.
like ideation, conceptualization. It's a very
Hmm.
good tool from conceptualization to making it a concrete idea. It's a for example, there's AI, there's So it's a very good tool from conceptualizing to the concrete project. So Midjourney is there, Leonardo is there, which helps the idea to make into a image. Very useful. At the same time, there for the architectural business, I would say it's a very customer centric, and you need to have a very concrete networking for
Mm-hmm.
it. So AI agents,
Mm-hmm.
it's a, in a, by AI in AI ways is a very good product. So for if when we are talking about AI, it is very useful for architectural business as well, because
Mm-hmm.
as you see, this business has is very customer centric, and you need to
Yes.
have that kind of networking. So we have used AI agents by in AI ways, and it's a very very useful tool, because the demo is so good. There are agents that there are artificial intelligence agents that can directly talk to your customers. At the same time, it can help in your own process and systems as well.
Okay.
So like for example, you have an AI agent who is your manager in office. He can, give tasks to people on daily basis. At the same time, make sure that those tasks are completed on time. He'll give uh, different recalls at specific times. So I think it's a very good AI tool that people can use for their own business, at the same time for marketing and sales as well.
Okay, so it enhances your
Yes.
productivity, it quality, as well as I think it can give you some innovative kind of inputs to on which you can develop
Yes.
it further and all that. So you see a great potential for AI in your industry as well as the other industry and all that.
Definitely, definitely.
Okay, you have been in business. You are an entrepreneur for I think last 5 years or four
Yeah.
years, right? So this entrepreneurship, must be based on certain principles, and which you might have evolved over a period of these 5 years and all that. So could you tell us what are those uh, policies or principles and all that? You did mention that your company is a customer centric policy, so that
Yes.
itself is a principle. So how much weightage and importance you give to that, as well as the other principles which with which you have started and which you have evolved.
So yeah, like I said, customer centric, customer is the king, that we make sure
Mhm.
every aspect has been taken care of in terms of design. Next principle that we have is like zero commissions.
Mhm.
We don't take any commissions from any vendors. That really helps our client to have that transparency, financial transparency. They don't have any thought behind their mind,
Mhm.
okay, the architect or interior design is having some commissions here and there, and probably they are pitching the product. We make sure that we have good negotiations with the uh, vendors, and make sure we give the best of the best product to our clients.
So that was about the customers. But when we come back to your own business or
Yeah.
the management of business,
Yes.
there is a financial aspect. There's a the HR aspect. There is a marketing aspect, the operational aspect, and all that. So, what are the principles? How do you manage the management basic enterprise management principles for your type of organization?
So we being three partners, we have segregated the areas where we
Okay.
look into things. Like I look into majorly sales and marketing. Uh, Pratik looks into majorly the office operations, the
Mm-hmm.
systems that
Mm-hmm.
work, and Disha looks in the all the accounts uh, part, and customer relationship. So these three things we make sure that we don't overlap each other.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so that is how it is kind of sorted for us, and we like don't make any of the, we don't
That's the
overlap each,
distribution
yeah,
of work
distribution.
and the areas
Yes.
and all that. But when it comes to managing, say, for example, your finances,
Hmm.
you said you are a good, started the enterprise with your own funds and all
Yeah.
that, and so managing your own funds is very important. And then as you grow, you have to get additional.
Yes.
So you have to be very, very careful with the
Yeah.
financial aspect of it. At the
Yes.
same time, the employees also, they are also your asset. So are there anything which you have learned over a period of these 5 years? When you say that, when we say that organization, the the finance is the most scarce
Mm-hmm.
resource, so you should handle it very carefully. You should spend it whenever
Yes.
necessary, or you should spend it in a right way. You should have proper planning for that. Maybe you should have a budget for maybe 1 year, 2 years, and you should go accordingly. The same applies not only for the finances, even for the work and the marketing also.
Yes.
That how you should get the business and how you should develop and all that. Is there anything which you have which you have came across, and which you feel is very important in a business?
Yeah. So uh, the distribution is very important, like the financial distribution. So yearly we have uh, jot down where we want to put our money. uh, is either softwares or into the employees, or what for the turnkey projects. So we have the segregation done right before the year starts. So we already know where are we putting our money into. At the same time, we also make sure what the money is coming, how much money is coming inside.
Right, cash
So
flow kind
yeah,
of.
cash flow. So with the uh, last year we check, okay, how much the sales have happened, how much money has come in. So with that we also check how much projects we have in hand.
Okay.
So with that we calculate a rough figure, sort of, this is how much projects we are doing, how much people we need to
Right.
hire for this, and how the flow of work is going to happen, and how much money, then accordingly the money is distributed with within it.
So some of the principles which you have mentioned, one is definitely budgeting. The one which you very initially mentioned, the participative kind of
Yes.
management, which is very essential.
Yes.
Then the customer centric, one has to be customer centric, especially in your kind of business and all that. So these are the some of the
Yes.
principles which I said you have been working. And uh, you have been in business now for last 5 years and all that, so you have, to your credit, a lot of experience. And I think you can definitely tell somebody who wants to come into business, somebody wants to establish a business, a new entrepreneur, or
Hmm.
a emerging entrepreneur, uh, what would you tell him, that how he should go about developing his own enterprise, his own
Hmm.
business and all that, and how he should take
Yeah.
the necessary steps?
I can definitely tell for architecture business. I think number one would be have tough discussions, like shareholding equity in the company,
Mm-hmm.
because you will find many architectural businesses which are in groups. So that is number one, should be very clear. There should be financial transparency
Right.
for sure from day one. Number three would be the distribution of money, like how I said. um, Number four, I think very important, is like the company goals has to be ahead of your personal goals.
You're right.
So everything that you are doing or working for is for the name of the company and not your individual self. So I think,
When you say goal, I think the needs,
yeah, the needs, or
personal needs and the organizational needs, and of course
yes,
the objective. And
objective.
yeah,
Like it shouldn't be like, if there are partners, like I said, there can be ego clashes,
right.
but everybody needs to remember that the company name is ahead of the personal agendas.
Okay.
So I think that should be very clear on day one.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
If I ask you who is your idol in architect, or somebody, a Hafiz contractor, or I just know one name only.
Okay.
You may be knowing many, but who is your role model, or somebody who to whom you are looking that I should be like him?
uh, I wouldn't say I should be like him,
Mm-hmm.
but I uh, I really admire Gurjit Singh Matharu. He's an architect from
Okay.
Ahmedabad. He
Mm-hmm.
was my tutor at CEPT.
Mhm.
and I really like his work, just because he do this engineering innovations with the design.
Mhm.
So like people who are watching this, or maybe who don't know, can see their work is
Mhm.
very good. So I really admire his work. It's something that cannot be copied. It has
Mhm.
to be real.
Mhm.
So like when we think of something, when we are designing, we really make sure that are we doing something that cannot be copied, or like there are few things that you just leave it and say, okay, this is the
What is
masterpiece.
one thing which you have picked up from him as a guru?
uh, I, I think the innovation,
Innovation.
the innovation that he does with the engineering stuff.
Okay.
Probably he'll move the whole toilet, he'll move the whole wall. So that kind of stuff excites me because it is very difficult to achieve.
You're right.
So yeah.
Now, for the success of your organization, for the development and growth of your organization, you need to develop the organization. And before that, I think your own development is also essential.
Yeah.
And in your kind of a business, which is a lot of, I would say, full of innovation and ideas and, creativity. So, how do you develop yourself in your area, business area?
So honestly, our we are more into creative field. Nothing of the business have been taught to us in
Okay.
our college or anywhere. Like even from my family, there's no
Mhm.
business background. So I literally had to dive into books, business books, onto how to make a company, like how should a startup there, like how to go from startup to a company. And I was very glad to know that you will be hosting this podcast, because I have read your book,
Mhm.
Startup.
Startup विषय सर्व का ये.
So I was very glad to know that you will be hosting this podcast, and I have already read your book, Startup Vishay Sarva Kahi,
Yeah.
and it has helped a lot to make those minute changes in the ecosystem of our company, and yeah, very helpful for other entrepreneurs as well. Would recommend definitely.
Thank you, Ajinkya. I think, friends, you might have learned a lot of things about a new kind of a business because in architect we see the architectural practice and all that, but an enterprise is shaping out of those architectural practices there are. But you have seen today something new from you have seen and heard Ajinkya telling you something new about his own business and the work for walls and how the idea has been shaped and how he's taking forward. I'm sure that you might have picked up many points from this discussion which we had today, and you will use them either to start your new business or to develop your existing business. Thank you very much, Ajinkya.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for having me.